Yo, what's going on? This is Ego and Vice, episode 62. Have a really good interview today with somebody from Chicago, one of the mega cities.
There's still people left in Chicago?
Apparently, that's what he says, and he's one of them, and he sounded pretty healthy.
Is he doing okay? Was he a little muffled through the mask?
Maybe it was like the Walking Dead type of thing.
We are the Walking Dead.
You've got a real attitude problem, McFly. You're a slacker.
Born and raised in South Bay, lower class punk ass, I was Northwood grade. I had it made. Spent my nights drinking with my mates. Just a short bus ride up to PA. Red River Red. Then I hit the wall and I knew I had to bounce. They still say that 19 years ago. Well, I got the hell out. From time to time you may see me hanging around. Now I feel like a stranger in this town. Crossing roads is where I learned to play. Westwood Tavern's where I learned to.
Hey, what's going on? Again, we're back. This is episode 63 of Ego and Vice. My name is Mike. I am here with my co-host, Steph Goodwin.
Hello.
What's going on? I hope everyone out there is hanging on and doing the best they can to make make some lemonade out of some lemons. What the fuck am I talking about?
Nobody ever knows. I hope everybody is doing the right thing and staying home. I know a lot of people are not, because on my way over here, I noticed far too many people ootin' a boot. No one wearing masks or covers or anything like that. People just out in the sunny sunshine, which I understand the appeal, but on the main drag of like Bank Street or something like that, where you're just going to keep bumping into people, maybe not a great idea. You want to walk around, go to a secluded area, which I normally wouldn't advise for walks, but
Go walk in the dark down some alley.
yeah, go take a stroll down an alleyway, go walk around in the middle of a secluded forest where no one can hear you scream. You know, all the now much safer places to be.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess about 2 weeks ago, I kind of put the kibosh. I didn't want you to take an Uber.
This is true.
Yeah, I didn't. But then I figured, what the shit, man. I can't drive right now. But you came in, you had your mask on.
I did.
And you had your gloves on.
Yep.
You walked in and you washed your hands, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's all you need to do.
Yeah, it was good. My previous Uber driver did have a mask. This one did not. And he was doing a couple of these.
What? Why would you freak me out?
He just had a sniffle.
Here's another little tidbit, folks.
I didn't high five him or smooch him or nothing.
Well, if you get in public transportation, whether it be a bus, is the O train still going?
Was it ever?
Or maybe an Uber or a taxi cab. They still call them that, taxi cabs or a taxi cab. Don't pull your phone out. I know it's super normal nowadays to sit in the back of a cab because you're going to be in there for 12 minutes or 20 minutes or whatever. So it's past the time. It's I'm going to pull my phone out. But everything you touch in that cab goes directly to your phone. So leave your phone in your pocket, and as soon as you get to where you're going, take your gloves off or go to your friend's sink or whatever, because it's not like you're going to a bar or restaurant.
And wash your phone?
Well, you can do that too if you have Lysol
wipes
or alcohol wipes and stuff like that. I've watched some videos that they said wipe your phone down just like you'd wash your hands, because your phone is, on the best days when there's not a pandemic, is like a petri dish of disgust.
Yeah, I mean, think about that. How often are you on the phone when you're sitting on the can?
Oh yeah, I'm just taking a deuce.
And
And I got bad guts. You know I got bad guts.
You got bad guts. And so you got to figure, that thing is just encrusted with all sorts of
Oh yeah,
awfulness.
it's like get a black light on your phone and it's just poop, and it's all the P's, whatever the P's are, the triple P, poop, puke, pee.
That was all of them.
Okay, that's a triple. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Funk with a PH.
Some sweet funk.
Funk. Yeah, but you like if you're in a public place, like pull your phone out if you need it. But if you're in like in a cab or something like that, don't pull it out. Like
Just
sit there, look out the window.
solid advice.
Look
Don't
out,
pull it out.
Look out the goddamn window and watch the empty streets flash by you. Whoa, whoa, and remember how awesome your life used to be.
Just for once, just sit and be alone with your brain.
Oh, that's a fucking horrible thing.
I
right?
know, isn't it? When you put it that way.
Yeah, one
That's
day.
awful.
Yeah, you never know. Like, can you imagine like going back from the age we live in, where there's just like screens and phones and stuff like tomorrow if some like big what are they called, EMP?
Yeah.
Just fucking exploded over the world. Boom, and every cell phone, every computer, every.
Well, we'd have much bigger problems than just our cell phones going out.
Would we?
The hospitals would say yes.
Okay, fine. But the people that didn't need immediate medical care, you'd be standing there and the first thing you would do would be like, what the fuck was that? Go on my cell phone. Then you'd be like hitting it like, why? And then you'd be asking people down the road. It'd be like, hey, that was crazy, right? Is your cell phone working? And they'd be like, no, I was going to ask you the same thing. And that would be your main thing. It wouldn't be like, are you okay? Are you fine? Like, are you bleeding from the ears?
Yep.
It'd be like, dude, can I use your cell phone? I totally got to Google what that was.
Yep.
Yeah. And then you'd come to that harsh realization. It's just like, these aren't working. And there'd be you think the pandemic's bad? There'd be a fucking outrage. There'd be a riot. No! Pornhub! Why have you forsaken me?
It always goes back to Pornhub with you.
Well, there's a lot of isolation going on here.
Let's not imagine. Let's just put the phones down and not dwell on what would happen if we didn't have them at all. Just know that you can put it down for a minute and not get it encrusted with crud, and just take a moment to meditate.
Yeah, well, just get home and bust out the Windex, because Windex cures everything. You get shot, you go outside and you get caught in the middle of like an armed robbery and you get shot and you crawl home. Just spray some Windex on it.
Yeah, it'll fix your
You're
fix
fine.
your wagon.
You're fine. A couple of Batman Band-Aids in like a cross shape, like choop.
Yep.
Yeah.
Perfectly all right.
Yeah, for sure.
Or if
I have nothing to back that up. But.
If Resident Evil has taught me anything, it's just find a couple different colored herbs, and make yourself a fine poultice and just smash them right into that bullet hole.
I find that if you get really, really shot up, you can crouch behind something, and it will.
That's true.
Rejuvenate you.
That's true. Yeah. If you are,
and I think that applies to real life. I really do.
Yes. If you are in fact wounded, crouch behind something. As long as you are not within direct eye line of whatever it is that harmed you, you're gonna get all better.
Yep, that's it.
That's totally how that works.
That's cool.
Yeah, as long as the sight line is broken, you're good.
We have been. I don't know. I won't say in isolation. We have been keeping the world out. And how long has it been now, honestly?
For me, my work will have officially closed down. Well, laid us off for the closure. It'll be 1 month tomorrow.
Wow.
A whole month.
What's tomorrow? The
16th.
16th, okay.
Yeah.
16th, so that's 1 month. And you had a little bit of money saved, and...
Not much.
Well, still, but you have like a wonderful family who will always help you if you need it.
Yes.
But you also went into the government.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently today we're not talking like dollars like amounts, but apparently after 33 years, 32 years, pardon
Almost
me,
33 years.
of fucking working your balls off, look who gets a little back.
Yep. I went through the whole thing of I keep wanting to say auditioning for, which is not not the right word. I submitted an EI claim, which thankfully when I got to it, they had streamlined for all of this whole thing, so that the requirements are not nearly as ostentatious. But yes, today, in fact, I got some of that sweet, sweet government cheddar.
Sweet, sweet government cheddar. Government cheese, Craig. You ever had government cheese? You eat it on the 4th of July. By the 18th, everybody's running for the bathroom. Can't shit for 2 weeks. Anyway. So that's good.
Yeah,
that's good.
that
now,
was nice.
Now, is that regular EI, or is that have something to do with the whole Justin
the,
Trudeau
like, bailout kind of thing.
government? Like, normally, like, I should have gotten a check for $307, but you got one for four times the amount of that.
Yeah, I'm guessing by the rounded amount that this is part of the whole, like...
It was a solid...
Yeah.
Okay. There was no and
No.
okay.
It was a solid amount, and I'm going to guess by that this is part of the whole, like, bailout kind of thing.
Well, I think so. I think that should be, because we don't want to be off work.
No, it
wasn't
work.
our fault. It wasn't our fault that our governments failed to protect us from this thing, to the point where they had to shut down the economy, shut down the fucking city, shut down the goddamn world, because the whole world is shut down right now, except for the States, because they're opening like tomorrow. So if you need to go to like Charles Cheese or Chuck E. Cheese, fucking go whack-a-mole tomorrow.
Yep.
Yeah, but anyway, no.
Oh
but
God,
it's
a
true.
Charles
and
Cheese would be
I think
accessible on the best
I
day.
think it came fast too. It felt like it came fast, but it has been a month. But if you're stressing about money,
yeah,
then it probably didn't come fast enough, right?
No, I mean, I finally got my shit together more or less to see if this whole thing will just blow over. So it took me almost 2 weeks to actually, like, buckle down and apply for EI. So yeah, it was about 2 weeks, which is actually what they quoted me when I signed up.
And it came. It's quick.
Yeah,
That's good.
yeah, and all I have to do now is check in, and that's the EI requirements, is basically check in twice a month, and they give you the date when to do that. I have to check in again on the 25th. And basically,
I guess it's not welfare where it's like, we'll give you your check, but have you found a job yet?
that is actually what it is. They're like,
Really?
It's basically like, do you have any money coming in other than this? Yes or no? Are you, like, able-bodied and able to work all of this time? Yes or no? And they're just literally yes or no questions. They're like,
fuck that bullshit. It's like, why should I even have to? I have a job. I had a job, which is a good job, that I was like paying my bills, paying my taxes. I was fucking, I was
they
good.
don't know.
And then all of a sudden, the government just says, okay, this is the way things are going to go because everything got fucking fumbled and blah, 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 blah. And then they'll give you like a certain amount of money when it comes to EI or UI or whatever the fuck you want to call it now. And they have to give you a survey saying, are you actively looking for... Fuck you. I have a job. I had a job. This is your fault I don't have a job.
Well, they don't know me from Adam, right? They don't know.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They somehow, like, if they can get a check to you, 28 million people in Ottawa or in Ontario or Canada, fucking sorry, 28 million people in Canada, and you file a thing online and you get a check for X amount of dollars in 2 weeks, they should know who they're sending money to. And don't tell me they don't, because they were probably watching you before the pandemic. Because all you do is search like Pornhub, there it is again, on your phone and shit like that. It's like, have you actively been searching for a job? No, fuck, because I'm not going to, because I can't leave the goddamn house based off your fucking government rules and this pandemic and shit. It's like, fuck your survey, send me my goddamn money. It's true. It's motherfucking true. None of us should be sitting here in our houses like fucking staring at the goddamn ceiling. The government should have something in place, so if this thing happens, they should have caught it sooner. So we're not here. And to fucking send you a fucking survey saying, it's insulting. It's fucking insulting. It's like I'm already collecting money from the goddamn government, yet you're still going to make me fill this thing out and make me feel like a bigger fucking low-life piece of shit who needs a handout? Fuck you. It's not even a handout. It's not a government handout. It's not. You deserve that money. And the fact that they only gave you the amount of money that they gave you is fucking insulting. It's insulting. But hey, man, you could buy beers, I guess. No, I'm getting all hot.
You're getting all riled.
Yeah, because I'm still working. I'm out in the goddamn quarantine zone.
Mm-hmm.
28 days motherfucking later, there's people running at my van and shit like that. It's fucking crazy. But because I'm an independent contractor, you wouldn't believe if I wanted to collect EI or UI or whatever, you wouldn't believe the fucking hoops I have to jump through. Like, I literally have to be, like, destitute and unemployed. Like, I would have to go to my employer and say, I'm laid off. And then I would fill out that online thing, and it's like, have you been, as an independent contractor, have you been officially unemployed for 14 days? And then I have to go through all these other fucking hoops, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's fucking bullshit. After if I went into my work tomorrow and said, "Oh, it's really slow and I really just want to stay home and watch Pornhub," there it is again. They'd be like, "Okay, cool. Yeah, here's your layoff. Yeah, whatever." But I'm not even an employee. I could do that right now, but it's like I literally have to show no income for 14 days. You know what would happen to me for no income for 14 days?
What would happen?
I'd fucking my cats. They'd be dead. I'd have like
no,
cat stew.
Your cats would be alive. You would be dead, and they would be eating you.
Well, either way, ain't that just a means to an end? Fucking bullshit. It's all bullshit. So count yourself lucky that you got what you got, but also question your government because fuck that. Sorry. Not sorry.
Do you feel better now? Or worse?
Not really. Not really. Anyway, what else is going on?
Other than the government cheddar that you have many opinions on.
That we're totally going to order pizza with tonight.
We should totally order pizza with it.
No.
Sweet fuck all, man. Like I've been doing the right thing. I've been staying home. I've been puttering about my place. Like it's a small apartment, so I'm going insane. Played a bunch of Sims today. Dude in the Sims, I should clarify, not because I freaked you out when I told you earlier. A guy died on my front porch. That was really funny.
Wow.
That is important to clarify.
Yep.
And then Death showed up, and I had a nice conversation with Death, and I accidentally flirted with him.
Did you?
So now he's in my cell phone, so I can call Death and have a good chat with him.
Did you have to play Battleship to not stay in hell?
No,
Oh.
I did not have to do that because I didn't die.
Oh.
But I could plead for their life or their ghost or whatever when they showed up. But I was like, oh, meow, 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 with the Simlish or whatever, but Death didn't go for it. So maybe if I string up a good relationship with
Death.
with Death, maybe next time it'll go a little smoother.
Don't fear the Reaper, everybody.
Just befriend him.
This is Slim and Popular, local Ottawa band. This song is called President Death. Kind of apropos, ain't it? This is Ego and Vice, episode 63. back. This is episode 63 of Ego and Vice. Now, I had a conversation today with our friend, Ian Tomele from Voice of Addiction.
Nice.
Yeah.
How's that motherfucker doing?
He's good, but he is in Chicago, Illinois, which is one of the mega cities, I guess the bigger cities in America. And as we all know, if we're going back to the corona or the COVID, America is getting hit like super, super hard. And the way he makes his money, he's a teacher, but even worse, right? Because nobody's teaching right now. But the way he makes his money, he's an avid tourer. Like, he tours all year long with his band, Voice of Addiction.
Mm-hmm.
And they actually were able to finish their last tour right on literally the deadline. And then they booked her back to Chicago. But they had like 50 dates or something like that for the spring and the fall, or spring and the summer, which he had to obviously whatever.
Just scrap.
And so I gave him a shout yesterday, and I was like, hey, he's been on the podcast twice before.
Mm-hmm.
Once by himself over the phone or Skype or however the fuck we did it. And then one time, well, he stayed at my place tight. Whenever Voice of Addiction comes through town, Goat usually plays with them, and then they crash on my couch. Yep. And they drink all my beer.
Monsters.
Yeah. So me and Steffi, he's a good buddy of ours, and I gave him a shout and I said, hey, do you want to do like a quick phoner, like maybe 20 minutes, half an hour, and just I would really like to hear what it's like from like a U.S. citizen in a major city to see what's going on, because we know what's going on in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're doing our thing, but also what I found interesting was that he's in a band, and that's how he makes his money, and he had to cancel his income, basically.
Yeah.
Right? Which is Riptides or Goat is not my income, but it's something I love to do, which we can't do. But I wanted to hear how like it all worked out for him. So I have I don't know, maybe like a half an hour interview with Ian Tomele.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I'm gonna play that now. Me and Steph are gonna bow out for a bit. Steph wasn't here at this point because I had to deal with that motherfucker on his own time.
Rude.
Yeah, I know. But it's just me and Ian from Voice of Addiction, Chicago, Illinois. All right, here it is. Hey, this is Ego and Vice, episode 63. As promised, I have Ian Tomele from the band Voice of Addiction on the line. Good buddy of mine, and he is from Chicago, Illinois, and he is an avid tourer. He is on the road most of the time, and this is unprecedented, where it's just like you can't tour and whatnot. But he's also a resident of a major metropolitan U.S. city. Here in Canada, we kind of do our own thing and whatever, but America's been hit hard. So it's nice to hear an opinion from a friend that that I care about. So here's Ian. What's going on, man?
Hey, how's it going, dude? Thanks for having me on. Just trying to stay above water and whatnot here, while also literally staying indoors and doing absolutely nothing. Just trying to stay. Boredom is really the name of the game these days, I feel like.
That's it. Yeah.
Well, you might actually know what's going on better than me, dude.
Why?
Like, have you heard what our fucking president tries to give his information to the population? Like, I don't have TV or anything, but the girl does, and I've been spending a little more than half my week there.
Oh,
So
sure. Just download the CNN app. Jesus Christ. What a nightmare.
I mean, it's better than Trump, but still, everybody's got such spin and shit on everything that no one's getting information here. And I mean, the supposed left-wing stuff are just as biased and everything as Fox.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, dude, if you look at our ratings, like Fox News' ratings dwarf like all the others combined.
Right, and that's the pro-Trump news, right?
Mm-hmm.
Fox News, they're like
they're at least as crazy as Trump, dude. They've been doing this shit for decades.
Yeah, it's like Donald can do the Donald can do no wrong on Fox News.
Oh yeah, they're definitely the ones that stroke his ego more than anything. I mean, I can't believe that he completely fucked this up in multiple ways. Like, in 2018, he cut all funding to pandemics and everything else. And get this, they were almost done creating a cure for coronavirus.
Oh, wow.
Now, it wasn't this exact strain, but I'd imagine it'd be close enough that you could tweak it a little bit and be a lot closer than we are right now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, and then last year, in January, so January like 2019, one of the government agencies ran a model of respiratory disease originating in China, like very much what's going on now.
Sure.
And he just like laughed it
Crazy.
away
Well,
or whatever the fuck he does.
I've never watched so much news in my life, and I was there. They keep showing like when Obama was talking about pandemics, and he's like, they really need to, get on top of this thing because it could happen at any time. And then Trump like canceled the bill for it or whatever it is. I don't know how American law works.
Have you seen Bill Gates? It's almost annoying because everybody's interviewing him now.
Bill Gates.
He's like some kind of fake, what's the word I'm looking for? He's some kind of fake like scientist in the field almost of sorts.
He's a charlatan.
They, like, pretend he knows.
He's just rich.
He knows what he's talking about, and he's getting interviewed, and he's just got this smile on his face, and it's like, this is creepy.
There was a.
He puts a lot of his money to good shit, but still.
Oh yeah,
like,
he's an entrepreneur for like for sure for like charities and stuff like that. But hey, man, if you had billions in the bank, and oh damn, I got to stay in my 28-room mansion with all my servants and stuff.
It's different for some people.
Yeah,
in
absolutely.
Chicago, 72% of the people dying from coronavirus are black.
Yeah, I read that. It was like black and Hispanic, right?
Well, I don't know how much you know about this city, but I mean, you've heard about the South Side, obviously, and they've closed all the hospitals on the South Side for the most part.
Oh, wow.
So a lot of people actually die in the ambulances heading north from the South Side. So this just shows all these underlying issues and shit.
Is that just
fucking?
Go ahead. Sorry.
What's that?
No, go ahead. That's fine. You had a thought. I cut you off. I apologize.
I said our fucking mayor keeps making these commercials that are just ridiculous.
Like the rah-rah commercials or what?
They're just lame as balls, all about like staying home and being safe. There's one where it's like amateur time, and it's her playing the worst C chord on an acoustic guitar ever and singing really falsetto and monotone. And she's like, whatever. And then she just stops. She plays all open string. She's like, whatever, just stay home. And the commercial ends,
seriously?
like, what the fuck was that?
What's your mayor's name?
We got a new one recently, so it's Laura Lightfoot.
Laura Lightfoot. Okay.
Yeah, we had Rahm Emanuel forever.
Yeah. No, who knows, man.
But I just heard on NPR today on my when I was in the car, and they were talking about our governor, who is like one of the biggest people. Like, he's constantly fighting with Trump. It's hilarious. And he pretty much, like, almost a month ago, we were the second state to do the stay at home after California. And since day one, he's just like, I don't believe a word Trump says. Yeah, we hope the federal government comes through, basically talking about the PPE, the protective gear, and whatnot. He's like, but we're Illinois. We have all this shit. We're just going to build it all here.
Right. Well, there you are.
I'm just like, fuck off. So today what I heard is that now there's a rumor that he has these flights to Shanghai to bring equipment directly here, and he's been keeping them secret because he doesn't want Trump to stop and take his mask and shit.
Oh my god! No, there's that new acronym. It's the PPE, the personal protection equipment. I was on CNN app the other day, and maybe that's been around for a while, but I've never really needed to know what that meant.
I never heard it. I never heard it before this. I think it has been around forever.
Yeah, and it was just like something blocks PPE, and I'm like, what the? And it was in 3 different articles. I'm like, what the fuck is a PPE? I had to Google it. I was like, personal protection equipment.
I mean, are you like seeing the effects of this in Ottawa or what?
Probably not as bad as the States right now. And
what about like Toronto or some shit? Like, is it bad there? Like, news only goes across the border one way, so we don't hear shit about you guys.
Canada is like, Ottawa right now is very, very vigilant. Like, you can tell. Like, you go outside and you can feel weirdness in the air. I'm sure that's the same as Illinois, but it's like you go to the grocery store and they have like the duct tape every 6 feet and shit, and you gotta like whatever. But there's only like
other lines and shit.
Yeah, for sure. And it's like everyone's wearing gloves and masks and stuff. But
sounds pretty much the same.
There's only, and my facts might be wrong as of this now, but there's only like 400 or something like that people in Ottawa that have actually tested positive for the thing, and half of them have recovered. And I'm not saying it's any less important to like follow all the shit and whatever, but it's not like I said, I talked to my sister in New York, and I have this website that I follow, which basically has all the statistics from around the world and cities and provinces and states and shit like that, and it's just like America, just like fuck, and it's just like a ticker, right? Tick 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 tick, like every day they have like percentages of what it went up, like from yesterday, and it's like America or USA as a whole, or New York City or the state of New York, pardon me, would be like blah blah number,
800 deaths a
and
day.
then there's an arrow up 28% from yesterday. You know what I mean? And it's just like, what the fuck?
Well, the thing also is there's been so few of the population tested so far. So I'm not saying it ain't getting worse, but that's a big part of it too. Is as we start testing more people, those numbers are going to keep skyrocketing.
Well, that's the scary thing too. And they said, well, why has like New York State tested so high? And it's just like probably because they're testing more there.
Have you ever been to New York City? That's why.
Yeah, right, exactly. But I don't know. I guess there's more available tests there. Canadians, I don't know. We crawl into our igloos and we, zip up our sleeping bags and we go to sleep and we fight through it, I guess. You go to the hospital when you need to, even though our healthcare is free. But I don't know, man. It's just if we had as many tests available in like New York State that they do, like, or in New York State if they had that here, who knows how high the numbers would be? You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy.
Well,
like
some people might not even have any symptoms.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing.
Some people
right?
might be so mild they just have a slight runny nose. So it affects everybody different, So that's why it's hard to actually know.
Yeah.
And I mean, dude, until there's a vaccine or like mass testing, things aren't going anywhere close to normal.
Well, what's
it's gonna be a while.
Oh, for sure. That like Trump wants to reopen the economy by like May. It's like, dude, that's like.
Well, he said
15,
Easter before
that's like
that.
2 weeks
he just
from
keeps
now.
Saying that.
Yeah. And
dude, think about the shit he owns. Like all that's losing money right now. Tell me it isn't. And then he was recommending that fucking drug.
That he's peddling the drug that he has a stake in.
Yeah. What the fuck? But I will say I don't like our governor in Illinois at all. But he's been handling this thing pretty fucking well. Like, dude, he's like mobilized everything. Like, it's been pretty nuts here, and it's just like constant Twitter war every day between him and Trump. It's fucking nuts to watch. So basically, once the governors realized this because the federal government hid it from them,
right?
Like, dude, we waited like 2 months to do anything here. That's why America's so bad. Like, once we knew there was a problem, Trump just fucking put it off forever.
Yeah, like
we were the second state to do the stay-at-home order. But I mean, like, yeah, we have a bunch of deaths here and shit, but dude. Well, over half the population of Illinois is in Chicago and the adjacent suburbs. So, like, when you see the Illinois statistic, that's mainly means Chicago. And, like, comparing them to other states in New York, like, we're not that big of a percentage of the U.S. statistics for being the third biggest city in the country.
Well,
I feel like we've actually hit it pretty hard, pretty quick. And I also feel like, for the most part, people are listening. But we did have like an 80-degree day last week, and there was a lot of people out in the street. No cars, but lots of people just out on the street. And that was fucked up. And
well, that's what I'm worried about too. Is it's like once the weather gets warmer, people are even though they're in quarantine or isolation right now. Once the weather gets warmer, like even now,
north, you know how we do. We all do it. As soon as it gets nice, we're all like, "Fuck yeah! It's 50 degrees. I'm wearing shorts."
Yeah, I feel great. Let's go to the beach. But the thing is with Canada too is like we get most of it, like we have Canadian news and stuff like that, and I'm not trying to like isolate us down into this little like we got like Canadian news about
your news is way better than
about the seals and the polar bears, what they're no man, like most of our information comes from America, so like I'm sure that it's the complete opposite. Like if America goes on the news, they're not going to turn into the Canadian channel and see what's happening in the world. You know what I mean? But that's kind of
Right.
that's kind of what we do because we have the CNN, we have the CNBC, we have the Fox News, all that stuff, and that's where those are the big channels. You can watch like local Ottawa Global TV, but they covered like the cat fashion shows, you know. Not to take anything away from those people, but it's just like I don't know, man. So we're pretty on top of like what's going on in the world, especially the U.S. because you know you're right next to us and shit. And our prime minister, our fucking prime minister, is basically the Donald Trump of fucking Canada.
Yeah, I've heard that from a bunch of you guys.
His wife got coronavirus.
Dude, we literally hear nothing ever about what goes on in Canada.
Oh wow, yeah,
it is very few and far between any kind of story from Canada makes it south of the border.
Yeah.
It's really weird because like doing tours up north and whatnot, you know, I've been in bars when they got the news on and other shit, and you're right, it's a lot of it's American shit. And it's just weird because we don't hear shit over here ever. It's got to be like something crazy.
There's not an American citizen that wakes up in the morning, makes a pot of coffee, and puts on the Canadian news to see what's going on in the world. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But we're the complete opposite.
This is a presidential election year for the U.S., which is usually that's all we hear about for like a year and a half before it.
Oh, dude,
and I don't know if you've been paying attention, but we basically got Trump, who has however many dozens of sexual allegations, and Biden, who has a bunch.
Oh,
and it's
God,
just like,
yeah.
Fuck. So we're right. You either vote for the lesser of two rapists is what we're dealing with right now.
Right, and Bernie backed out.
Unfortunately, I don't know how any. It kind of was a statistical too, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It really didn't have much to do with what else. It's just like looking at the numbers and where we are.
Yeah.
Being realistic, he pretty much didn't have a shot.
No.
But this did take away from whatever flame or fire he had going on for sure.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so who knows? But dude, he'd be 80 when he's sworn in. I actually really like Bernie because
is that how old he
is?
You know? Holy shit! I didn't know he was 80 years old. 79 years old.
He'd be 80 when he's sworn in if he won.
How old's Biden?
So probably right around there.
Oh, Jesus. Well, Trump's got to be what, 75, 76 now?
The last I heard, he was 72, but I don't know how long
Okay,
ago that
maybe
was.
he's younger than that. Anyway, but whatever.
Well, that was a while ago, so he's at least a year or two above that, I feel like.
Yeah, he's got to be pushing.
I don't know, man, but we have
75
some terrible
anyway.
choices, and I fucking hate Biden. He's just another fucking person that can be bought by anybody to do whatever.
Right.
But, I mean, at this point, it's really hard to see how anyone could be worse than Trump, dude. There's shit going on right now that's even worse.
Yeah, for sure. What's the word on the street in Chicago? Like, I'm sure there must be some buzz as far as the presidential thing. Like, where's it going?
I mean, I don't know. There's nobody on the street.
Well,
but as far as being on like social media and whatnot,
yeah.
I mean, most everybody I know is all about Bernie, so everyone's just still bitching about him dropping out, not having a choice right now.
Yeah.
And now it's kind of like people that are like, well, regardless of anything, I'm sticking by my morals. I'm not going to vote for a rapist.
No.
And then there's people doing the whole like, well, anything's better than Trump, so even though I hate him, I got to vote for him. I mean, we still got till November, so it's going to be some time. And so I feel like I don't know if Bernie would take a VP spot if he offered it. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I almost feel like he needs to. Dude, honestly, it almost didn't matter who got elected to the Dems. I feel like Trump's pretty much a shoo-in at this point, dude. It's a very divided country.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And he does the worst shit anybody could ever think of, and still his approvals are pretty high because of that part of the country, dude.
Yeah.
It's fucked up. Like, and now since it comes out and says racist shit all the time, these people that, you know, might have been racist, but they just keep their mouth shut now have validity and they're out doing it in the open, and that's fucking scary.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think human nature too. It's like you latch onto something and you'll fight it at first, but then you get kind of just acclimated to it, and then you become complacent, and it's just like, well, he's the president now, and he's done a lot of fucking crazy shit, and you can add that to anything in life, right? So it's just like, just vote him in, because you know he hasn't blown up the world, or he hasn't fucking done whatever. It's like change is hard for people, especially of that magnitude, right? So it's just like let him get his 8 years in, and then we'll be forced to change. Some people need to be forced to change.
Incumbents almost always win in the States as well in major elections for some fucking dumb reason. So unless something crazy happens, but to be honest, it has numerous over, and nobody gives a fuck with this guy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like, he's done the craziest shit ever. Shit that would ruin anyone else's political career for life, and just nobody seems to care. We're like in this weird bizarro world where nothing, like, he's just got like this shield around him and nothing seems to stick.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's
He was
fucked up.
impeached. He was impeached, and he's just like
Yep.
now. And I saw a press conference on CNN the other day, and he was talking about the not the big like briefing where he was talking about like we need to do this for the COVID and all that stuff like that, but he did a follow-up thing, and in the middle of it he segued into something like I used to hook up with models. I like models. It was just like, what the fuck is happening here? You know? Who knows? Who fucking knows? And he was extra tanned that day. It's like, I'm glad you have time to excuse me. I'm glad you have time to go for a tan while people are fucking dying in your streets. Or your inner cities, whatever. Fuck, man.
I mean, I don't know really anybody who's even left their house almost at all. You know, maybe
I was gonna ask like what's it's like we're being
I have men, but
yeah. Well, I go to the
my girl lives in Northwest Indiana, so and she's got dogs, so I've been just coming back to the city for like 2 days a week.
Yeah.
Do a few things I can.
I
because,
go
you know,
I go out maybe I go maybe once a week and get some groceries, but every couple of days I'll go to like grab a case of beer, you know? Well,
yeah, my local bottle shop's still open,
yeah.
and it's super close, like a half block away. I can walk there.
Yeah,
so that's nice.
I figured that's
They're only open 1 to 7, so it's shorter hours, but at least I know I can go there every day if I need to.
Yeah.
I've been we just got off a month tour. We got back on the 16th of March, and it was like 4 days before that when the shit really hit the fan here.
Yeah.
So it was a pretty interesting last couple of days, but basically, like, you know how a tour is, man.
Yeah.
I just partied the whole time, so it's like once we got back, I've been not drinking at her house just because I kind of needed a break. But I've been a couple days I'm in the city, I've been doing it. But
right, where did you shut it down, and did you drive right back to Chicago?
No, we were able to finish somehow.
Oh,
the last 2 days, we had 2 of the local bands drop each day, but the show still went on. And turnouts were weak as fuck, but we still made a few bucks, so we can't complain.
Yeah.
We were also pretty close. We were only in Kentucky the last 2 days.
Yeah.
So even the farther one was only 6 hours away.
Okay, that's not bad.
So
yeah,
we got lucky, dude. I had friends who were from Florida, and they were in California and having to cancel the last 2 weeks of tour and shit like that. And aside from just that, you know, in a tour van, paying for all that gas to get, I mean, that's literally like driving back from Vancouver for you. It's like, fuck.
Yeah, well, that's across, that's the other side of the world for us, right? I don't know.
So that's a lot of money and gas and time, and then coming back to no jobs, because, I mean, anybody that tours is usually like in the industry, you know, a bartender or server or something, you know, music venues, like something like that. That's obviously fucked right now. So it's like everybody I know is just so fucked. And I teach, man, so I can't do that. I mean, I'll be lucky if the fall works at this point. I mean, we'll start, shit'll have to start laxing sooner or later, but dude, as far as like more than a couple people getting together, it's gonna be a while.
Well, I don't know. I think Trump's gonna open the country like in about a week, so you'll be back at it.
Yeah, but before that he was saying Easter, and before that he was saying the end of the. He's been saying earlier every time. But I will say this, as far as you talking about your one tour, I've been noticing a lot of, like, I think as far as that, smaller clubs are gonna probably open faster down here than up in Canada. Dude, I've been seeing venues that like the Queers would play here, like announcing shows in even June.
Yeah. So,
I think it would be fine, is what I'm saying. Is if it's in the U.S., I feel like as long as it's not too, you know, maybe they won't be able to play a couple of the bigger venues they on a tour, but I mean,
well, it's half and half. It's half Canada, half the U.S. But our last stop is New York City, so
I think it's still small enough capacities. I still think it's small enough capacities for the shows they play that you probably could sneak it in. It's really going to more depend on if they still want to do it.
Right.
For personal reasons and health reasons, they might not want to do it, you know? But I feel like you could still make it work. Because we're supposed to be gone late September through all of October out west, and basically about a week into May, I got to start working on it, or it's not going to work, and I'm just not seeing signs pointing to right. I think at this point, I got to try to start, you know, on our spring Southern tour, which is usually the end of February through March.
I thought
And
you
hope that can work.
I thought you had to like give up a bunch of shows because I remember you and I were working on something for June.
Oh yeah.
Did you
Yeah,
like
no,
end up
that's gonna
canceling
happen.
or postponing any parts of your tours? I thought I could have swore I was like,
Oh, there's no way that's gonna happen.
no,
That's not even that far
absolutely
away.
not. But I was just asking about how many shows, if any. I thought like from my just reading Facebook and seeing your posts and shit, how many shows did you actually have to postpone or reschedule, or did you see it through?
Fuck ton. Probably like 50.
50. Jesus Christ.
Scared, basically. You know.
Yep.
You're told to be locked in for months at a time by your government. You're not just gonna rush out and be around people once they say it's getting better.
Oh, I'm sure there'll be lots of people
So
doing that.
I'm worried that the tours just aren't going to do that well. I think it's going to be a lot of slow shows, and just got to think about if that's worth it. So, like I said, I'm not going to be the first band to do it,
Yeah,
but
right.
I'm going to pay attention to the ones that do, and then ask them how it went compared to other ones.
Well, yeah, I guess it comes down to how many people actually want to like even when the government or whatever says, okay, everything's good, go out. People are still going to be like, yeah, I think I'll stay home for a bit. You know?
Oh yeah,
No.
it's gonna be a slow
No.
reintroduction for sure. So yeah, I don't know what to tell you. I like I said, I think you should feel pretty safe being that far out.
Yeah.
Especially if you're not doing festivals, if you're just doing club shows.
Right.
But I mean, I really feel like the biggest worry would just be like if the queers wanted to postpone it because of health and personal issues.
Yeah, we had a whole bunch of the Riptides had a whole bunch of spring summer stuff that's basically gone now. It's like we had Pooza Fest in Montreal and stuff like that, and it's all gone. And we had a big festival in Ottawa here called Hope, and it's hanging on because it's like mid-July, but it's not gonna happen.
Oh, there's no way, dude.
No.
I heard that you guys can't have any events till after August right now.
Well, there it is. Hey,
I know for Quebec that's true.
Look at you and the Canadian news, eh? Not bad.
I don't only know it because promoters are hitting me up from there. Remember, I was coming through there. Anyways, I don't know what to tell you. I'm scared to do absolutely anything.
I know.
We had a couple of shows this month that were local and in the suburbs,
yeah.
and they're trying to reschedule them for like June and July, and I'm just kind of like, I don't know what to tell you. I don't really want to be announced on a show just to cancel it again.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, I'm still getting like social media shit like on Facebook and pages and shit, and people saying, "Hey, I'm in a band called 123, and we're coming through in June. You want to play with us?" And I'm like, dude, I ain't committing to shit. Like, I can't even believe like you're sending out a message to like try and build this show. Like, it's weird.
Are they like local or what?
Nah, they're coming from who knows where. I think they're just trying to whatever. I decline most of the shit that comes my way unless it's like fun. But
well, dude, after the Canadian dates we were supposed to do,
mm-hmm.
I mean, I think there was 4 shows in New York, maybe 5 in New York State.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, fuck.
Yeah.
We're fucked. We're going through the worst fucking part.
That's a goddamn minefield out there.
Have you seen the fucking mass graves in New York City?
Maybe just some images.
That's creepy shit.
I know, that's crazy. And I saw images in like Central Park where they had like the tent hospitals and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was talking to my sister, I talk to my sister maybe once a week, and I'm like, "How are you?" And like, have you left the house yet? Have you lost like?
I'd be worried as fuck if I had a sister in Brooklyn.
Go fuck yeah! And she's like, everything's nuts. But her and her husband, not to get too personal, but they live in separate places. Her ex-husband, pardon me, and they have a kid. So the kid goes back and forth,
shit.
right?
That could be easy.
Yeah, and she's just like happy to see her daughter when she comes home, but scared to death over the next couple days. That, you know what I mean? I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know. Yeah, it's hard. It's fucking hard.
I couldn't imagine having a kid with all this shit going on. I'd be so scared.
Yeah.
Or if you're like taking care of an old parent or something.
Well, that's another thing. That's another thing I was going to say. My dad lives in Thunder Bay, Ontario. That's like the butthole of Canada.
I know where that is.
Center of goddamn fucking Ontario or Canada or whatever.
Yeah, believe it or not, I know where that is.
Yeah, my dad's 77 years old, but he's has to go into the hospital for chemotherapy because he has lymphoma.
Oh shit.
And it's just like, Jesus Christ. He has to literally put on like a hazmat suit just to fucking go there. And it's like, doesn't he have enough to worry about, you know? So I'm kind of flip-flopping between my dad, worried about my dad, worried about my sister, and then, you know, whatever. Yeah, it's a weird time, dude.
Yeah, you know what I feel terribly for is what if you have someone close that dies? There's no funerals or anything. Like, how do you get closure? How do you mourn? Like, that would fucking suck.
Oh, dude,
If you
you
had
know
a
what's even
super
worse, though?
close death
Yeah.
in the family. Oh my gosh.
You know what's even worse is that I read an article about, like, everyone's worst nightmare is, like, dying alone, and people, like, who die of the virus, and the hospital people or whoever won't let them even in the room.
Yep.
That's fucking
And I get it, but
morbidly
it sucks.
terrifying. Jesus Christ.
I mean, that's the reality. If you listen to any press briefings by anybody that isn't an idiot as much as Donald Trump,
Yeah.
they're always talking about the sobering part of it. And it's just like we're dealing with these crazy numbers of deaths. And in the U.S., almost 50,000 people die from the regular flu every year.
Yep.
So, I mean, these numbers, as crazy as they sound, you know, basically the truth lies somewhere in the middle. And the question is where.
Yeah.
Because on the right, they've been calling this a hoax since day one, and a lot of them still kind of are in a way.
Yeah.
And then the so-called left, which is center at best in this country, they've been like overplaying it and fear-mongering it. And the truth is going to be somewhere in the middle. It's just a question of how far. And the question, you know, there's still 8 states that don't have any kind of stay-at-home order. Of the remaining states, keep in mind that they're like the worst states that have like no people.
Right.
15 of those regard religious services as essential.
Right.
So people are still going to church. That's fucking nuts.
I saw that shit. It's like, I'm covered in the blood of Jesus. I'm safe from the plague. You know what I mean? It's just like, are you fucking out of your mind? Like,
I had the best one on Easter. I was just like, if Jesus sees his shadow, it's 6 more weeks to stay at home.
Nice. Good. I don't know, man. What are you gonna do? So, one question I have to ask is, like, what is a daily life in a major American city like right now? Since you guys are like the mecca of the COVID outbreak, I guess. Who knows? Just in a number's sake. But like, what do you do? Like, what does an American citizen do in a major city? Like, give us a run through of your day.
Well, it's kind of nuts, obviously. I've never gone this long without taking the train, the L train, or public transportation, you know, in general.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't drive ever when I'm home. I take public transportation everywhere. So that's really weird, is just not doing that, which also means I haven't been downtown. I'm only 2.5 miles from downtown. But still, all these photos I'm seeing from there where they're just abandoned streets. There's like nobody.
Right.
My neighborhood probably has, it's slow as hell in my neighborhood. I live in a busy neighborhood. But my neighborhood's probably even a tad busier than downtown, to be honest. Just because people actually live here. You know, most people are just downtown for work and office buildings and whatnot. But yeah, you just stay at home. That's all you do. The good thing is, being a city, there's still lots of food options. And there's grocery stores all over and stuff, and they're still selling booze. So I mean, everybody's pretty much. So we have been able to still get together for band practice, which is nice because we were all with each other. We've all been self-isolating ever since. So we figure that's about as safe as you can get. So with all the future shows gone, I've just been trying to work on new music and try to get. It pretty much took the question from doing an EP to an LP out. Like, we're definitely doing a full length now. So now we just
right. You got the time to
Yeah, we got like 9 now, I think. So yeah, we're getting pretty close.
Yeah, it's like I said to my girlfriend the other day. I said it's not the isolation, because I normally try and not to be around too many weirdos. It's just the monotony. Oh, it's just like I wake up, have a coffee, sit, see what's on the internet.
I haven't had
do the
coffee in
YouTube
so
work.
long. I try not to drink it on tour. It's kind of
Okay.
one of my things. Is it's like I drink a lot of coffee usually, so I kind of use it as a way to, you know, get my tolerance down a bit or whatever you want to call it. And then I come back to my life canceled, so I kind of have like this weird mentality of where I should only drink coffee if I'm working. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I can't drink. I drink a lot of coffee. I already drink too much, so it's just my way of like curbing that a little better. But fuck, and I did just buy some coffee earlier this week, so damn it, got that in my head.
Nice. I just use I just use coffee as like a lubricant for
Ew.
before day drinking. Before day drinking.
Oh, okay.
You know? Yeah. You didn't let me finish. Yeah, just coat the esophagus before all the day drinking.
I love day
Yeah.
drinking, so not having work like really makes being an alcoholic that much worse.
It's like there was a thing on that I saw online the other day. It's like we're either gonna come out of this stronger people or raging alcoholics.
Well, we're definitely gonna, whenever all this is over, a year and a half, 2 years, whatever, and we're dealing with the economic ramifications. Regardless of all that, it's gonna be a different world in a lot of ways because pretty much ever since the internet came into such prominence, there's been the debate of how productive people are working from home. Now we have a very actual case study of how productive they are at home, and a lot of places might be like, the overhead of an office building ain't really worth it. We can, cut all that, let people handle, the multitude of things at home and just come in for a meeting and whatnot. I think there'll be a lot of that. Hopefully, especially in this country, something needs to happen with healthcare. It was already the main subject of this upcoming presidential election, but like I have asthma, I can't get a freaking inhaler. So all last year, I fell through some weird loophole where I just wasn't allowed to get insurance for the whole year. And then I tried to go earlier this year, and I had an issue with the place changing providers, so I was no longer covered by them. I could have gone to another one, but I was leaving on tour, and then I come back to the whole thing being shut down. So it's just like, imagine having really, even if it's not even major, just like, what if you break your arm? It's like you're just screwed.
Well, you
right
just
now.
need like
you
a
don't
prescription, right? Yeah. Do you not
know
have?
what I'm
Do you have
saying,
like
though. But
yeah? Do you have like walk-in clinics and stuff like that in
Oh, yeah.
in the States? Do you
Oh,
still
yeah.
have to like pay when you leave?
Oh yeah.
Oops. Wow. It's like
Yeah, if you go to a
being
walk-in
in
clinic,
Canada.
you have to pay. You have to pay at your visit if you do a walk-in clinic. If you go to a hospital, they'll bill you later.
Right. One
Walk-in
way or
clinics are
another, you're
cheaper.
paying though. Like
Yeah, walk-in clinics
Yeah.
are definitely cheaper. But yeah, they'll make you pay the remaining balance that isn't covered by your insurance right away. Dude, everything is so fucked with our healthcare. It isn't even the fact that it isn't free. This weird system they put in place. You know how much I'm paying every month to basically have insurance because it's required by law, but I still can't go to the hospital because I can't afford my copay after it. It's ridiculous. And there's people poorer than me, and it's terrible. It doesn't work for anybody.
So what if you're living in the States and you actually get like COVID, like, and you have to go to the hospital? You have to obviously you have to pay for the treatment, right?
I heard they'll cover the testing, but not the treatment. But remember, you're dealing with American medicine here. Nothing's cheap. So it's
Right.
like a life or death situation. And even if you live, you're coming out of this with an enormous debt that who knows when you'll.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's like thanks for letting me be alive to. Thanks for saving my life so I can spend the next 10 years paying the bill for doing that for me. It's like, fuck, man. Yeah, it's funny in Canada how much we take our healthcare for granted because like literally you can like anything. Like I wake up tomorrow morning and I have like a sniffle. I have a sniffle. And if you're like paranoid or a hypochondriac, you just go to the doctor. You give him your Ontario health plan or insurance thing, your OPEP card. You can sit there and fucking the doctor will give you a straight up examination, and you leave and says you have a cold. Okay, bye, and you never think of it again.
What I want to do that.
Right? My sister, when she had her daughter she lived in New York at that time. She had her daughter. It cost her like $4,000 to give birth to her daughter.
Yeah, that just sounds normal to me.
Mm-hmm.
See, kids, they're putting
I
you
don't
in
know,
debt
man.
before they're even born.
Yeah. I don't know. Just yeah. Right. It just all comes out in our taxes. You know, you pay your taxes, and our healthcare is fucking solid. And
You know, another side
just
effect from this that we might not be thinking of is it might actually boost the issue of climate change around the world a little bit more because they're actually saying these stay-at-home orders are going to save way more lives from pollution than from coronavirus. I mean, dude, think about it. All these cars not driving every day. Have you seen photos in like LA? Because LA has the worst traffic ever. And there's just like nobody on the road. It's weird. It's eerie.
yeah,
Photos of Times Square and there's nothing there.
That's what I saw. Yeah. Times Square and shit. It's just like, what? It's
so
fucking
weird.
It's creepy in a way, right?
The city that never sleeps finally has to sleep.
Well, just stay home, and I feel you've been to my place, so like I have a decent amount of space. I have a backyard, I can go out and stuff, but I can't imagine being in like Manhattan in some like shoebox fucking tiny little apartment where you're like stuck with your boyfriend or your girlfriend or whatever or your roommate. It'd just be like I'm probably gonna jump out the window, you know.
So yeah, I don't know if you've heard about the stimulus checks that everybody's supposed to be getting here, but a lot of people in the States have been getting them today. So basically, it was like for a person, it's $1,200. Here's the thing: like if you're living in New York, or San Francisco, or LA, or Chicago, most cities these days, that's not even covering rent for 1 month.
Right. Oh
like,
yeah, absolutely,
that's a
for
drop in the bucket. I mean, you're probably paying a few grand for sure in New York. That's just
like I live in I live in South Ottawa, Canada, and I pay $1,100 a month for rent.
Damn.
I can't even imagine in some like major metropolitan city, right?
1,100 would that be like 800 American probably? Something like that. That's pretty good. Your place is decent size. That doesn't seem weird.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
But basically what I'm saying is just
awesome.
Shit's expensive
So I'm getting a deal. Nice.
Well, shit's just expensive everywhere. And they passed like this $2 trillion relief bill and we're getting $1,200 each. And it's just like, where's the rest of that money going? It's just all going to this corporate bullshit for no fucking reasons. I mean, yes, there's a small business shit and all that. And I'm 100% behind that. Because that's another thing that we're talking about coming back to a different world. We already were turning into a corpocracy, dude. It was just everywhere you go, it's the same things, you know. You see your McDonald's, your Taco Bells, you see your Walmarts, you know what I mean? You see the same stuff everywhere you go. And the main thing this is gonna do is take out the remainders of the mom and pa's, you know, the individually owned or small privately owned business, chains that are local. All the local small businesses are going to be gone. And dude, once we get back to touring normal, we're going to be touring in a different world, man. A lot of these that we're used to hitting aren't going to be able to survive. It's like the Live Nation and all that'll be fine, the big guys, but there's going to be less people putting on shows, and also people are going to be a lot less likely to take risks, i.e., known as putting out guarantees. They're going to work a lot more door deals and less guarantees because they won't have the money to put up. When they're doing shows with agents, they're going to put less money up front. They're going to try to make it all door deals or paid after the fact. And with that, people might have to wait till a week or two after their performance to even get paid.
To get paid, yeah.
It's going to be weird. It's definitely going to be different, and it's going to be harder. There's going to be less places to play. I mean, we already had an issue before this of there being way too many bands and way too few places to play. So it's going to make it a whole nother challenge. You know, just when we think we got this touring game figured out, they're just going to everything's going to be different. I don't really know how it'll work out. Well, I guess we'll have to figure that out on the other side. But that's pretty much with everything, dude. As soon as we get past the whole health crisis part of it and all these people dying, and we got to deal with this enormous freaking recession that we're about to hit. Dude, the economy is going to be fucked. This many people, it's not like it's just New York. It's literally the whole world, every freaking country, and it hit the
Oh
richest
yeah,
countries
everybody's fucked.
first because we're the ones that travel, you know. So it hit all the richest
Yeah.
countries the hardest. I feel like,
Well,
and
it's like flat out shutting down our society as we know it.
yeah,
You know what I mean? It's
but
just like,
this many
stop it.
people
Let's
not
stop this for a
working,
bit.
even if
Yeah.
the whole world not working even for a day, is just crazy. And for this long, there's just going to be so much debt and craziness. And I don't know how anybody's going to survive, dude. 1918 flu, Spanish flu, but it's, you know, that's over 100 years ago. There's really almost no one alive that would even remember it. So there's no one alive that has ever experienced anything like this. That's crazy, dude.
I think the main reason that people are being so kind of like meh about it too is because like, yeah, if you get it, you might get mild symptoms. You know, you'll be sick for a couple days. It's just the flu. You know, the leaders say it's just the flu. If this was like you said, like Ebola, it's like if you get this thing, you're gonna
Bleed
bleed
out your
your
eyeballs.
organs out out your asshole.
Yeah, that's a
I think
scary
you know
one
it's
for
just
sure.
oh my Jesus Christ! Imagine that shit. Anyway, but it's just like I think people are very just like, well, if I get it, I get it. But that's not the point. Is if you get it, because young people, yeah, sure, you get it. You feel like shit for a couple weeks. Stay at home, eat some popcorn, whatever. It's just like stop. Like you get sick, and then you go home to your parents, and then your parents get sick, and then they give it to your grandparents, and they give it to the people at work and shit like that, and then we're stuck in our houses for like another 2 years.
Yep.
Yeah. It's not like the movies like before the 2 hours of the movie is up is like we've made a vaccine and everyone's gonna be great. Like it could be years before, you know what I mean? Well, I'm gonna start sewing football pads on my leather jacket. I'm gonna spray paint my car flat black, and I'm hitting the road, bud. So I think we've talked about pretty much everything we can talk about. Canada versus U.S. and how we're all coping with it. But you know, we're all people and we're all friends and we're trying our best. And I'm glad that you're doing well. And it sucks that neither of us can tour right now, but we're just trying to hold our fucking shit together. And I don't know, man. It was great talking to you.
Yeah, dude. Thanks so much for having me on. Who knows when we'll get back to touring regularly again. Working on new songs. We'll get this new full length done in the meantime, so we got something solid to tour behind. Yeah, if you want to see what's going on with the band, we're pretty easy to find on all social media. Just look up Voice of Addiction on Facebook, Instagram, any of the above. Our website, voiceofaddiction.com.
Nice. And if you guys ever do come back through Ottawa, you know you always have a couch to sleep on, and maybe I'll make another big pot of chili, and you guys can drink all my beer again.
Well, hopefully, if things go back to normal, we're just going to kind of copy what should happen this year into next year. So it'll probably be around the same time, but we'll see what happens as things happen, you know?
Yeah, day by day. All right, Ian, thanks. It was great talking to you. And yes, take care and say hi to, I don't know, Chicago for me, bud.
For sure.
Okay, cool. Hey, we're back. That was my interview with Ian Tomele. A good friend of mine from Chicago, Illinois, American citizen, and a member of a band that tours a lot, as you heard in the interview. And life is changing kind of quickly, you know? It's always great to hear from Ian. It's always good to just shoot the shit with him. That interview was probably about an hour long, but I just gave you bits and pieces. I just called him up, press record, and recorded it. So if Ian, if you listen to it and you're like, where's that thing I said? Dude, it's time constraints, right? Come on now. You know how it works. And also the audio, if it cracks here and there, it's just because of he's in Chicago and I'm in Ottawa, and I'm not goddamn...
You're not a tech wizard.
I'm not goddamn Bill Gates. But it all
You're
made...
not?
No. And it all made sense. So thanks, Ian. Stay safe. Looking forward to playing with you guys sometime in the future.
Yes.
Mm.
Oh, it'll be nice to... I think it was like maybe last week or coming up this week, we were supposed to see... who was it? Teenage Bottle Rocket.
Teenage Bottle Rocket. That was on the 14th. We were supposed to see them. Yeah.
Yep.
And we were like, yay, that's gonna be fucking rad.
Yeah, I was really excited about that.
Supposed to go with Bob and Kim from the Riptides.
Yep, they were gonna play the 27th Club or Mavericks.
I think it started at Mavericks, then it ended up at the 27 Club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bummer.
Yeah, well, hey man, some things just don't work out, right? Maybe for the best. Who knows?
I probably would have gotten wrecked at that show.
Mm-hmm.
Save myself a little heartache.
That's okay. I don't care how bad the show would have been. Think about, I would go to the worst live show right now just to be out. And we said this the other day. Remember we were laying in bed and you were like caressing me because I was weeping like a child. And
That does sound like us.
And I'm like, remember, you know what I'd love to do right now? I'd love to just like go sit on a patio and drink a beer.
Yeah.
Or I'd love to go to like, you know, a restaurant and eat some sushi, or let's go get some tacos, or like let's go to a motherfucking movie.
Yep.
Get a big bag of corn and sit in those reclining chairs and shit.
Watch one of those moving pictures.
Yeah, like a motion picture.
One of those talkies.
I love pictures. There's nothing like pictures to take your mind off things. But yeah, I know the podcast Ego and Vice is normally about music, but hey man, I had Ian on, but I know it's very full of COVID. It's like COVID and Vice.
I like it.
Yeah. But hey man, what else is anybody else thinking about right now?
There's nothing else to do.
There's nothing else to do.
There's no other distractions. It's sort of like just sit there and dwell, because what else are you going to do? Take up a new hobby?
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't sound like me.
No.
All these folks that are like, oh, it's time to like learn a new thing, or like learn a new skill, or start a new hobby, or like enrich yourself this way, or get like super swole at home. I'm just like, I'm not motivated to do any of that shit.
Even less now.
Even less so. Like those winter blahs that you would get where you're like, I don't want to do anything. It's just kept going. Like there's zero motivation. Like I don't know if it's the same with everybody. I know it's not, because I know a lot of people are like doing stuff. And I'm like, where do you find the get up and go? Because mine got up and went.
I don't know. Yeah, like I've talked to you before. It's just like for no reason at all. I'm like, even though it's April, I'm like February blue. I'm like,
Yeah. It's the sads. They've
is.
Continued.
Yeah, what? You know, well, shit, man. Like I said, it's not the isolation, it's the monotony. However, I think that's not the fair judgment, because you and I, like I said, we've been hanging out quite a bit. Well, we're the only people that we hang out with.
Yeah.
And we started playing some board games.
We did.
Which is different, because there's only so much goddamn TV or you can watch, to the point. It's not that the product on the TV is not good, but it's just like I'm sick of fucking sitting here doing the same fucking thing, watching TV. And to people who are sitting on the couch with their significant other or by themselves and who just get lost in like TV, rad. This is the best thing that ever happened to you. But for us,
I just can't.
We watch some TV and we watch our favorites. You know, we love the Cooking Channel or the Food Network and shit like that. We love Guy Fieri and we love Bobby Flay and all, you know, all those shows and shit like that. And we watch them, but it's just like no. So we started playing board games, and that was a great mix up of what we normally do, because I've never played a board game with you.
You know what? I will say I was thrilled because no one has ever been enthusiastic about playing Monopoly with me.
Wow. Why?
I usually crush.
Cheat?
No.
Oh.
Never. My sister Sam used to cheat all the time. It was brutal. And like really obviously too. It was just fucking terrible. But no, we used to play marathon games of Monopoly when we were kids, but I hadn't played Monopoly in probably like at least 5 years. 5-10 years.
Since that one game we played?
From like that first game that we played. Before that, I hadn't played Monopoly in like.
Well, I got you beat. It's got to be 15 years for me. Yeah.
But right now we've.
Oh God.
More?
Oh shit! It had to be Thunder Bay. It had to have been a kid in Thunder Bay. 30 years.
Jesus.
30 years.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
I probably hadn't played.
When I was 2.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I probably hadn't played in at least 10 years, probably closer to 15, but we're pretty even right now. We're 3 to 5 in our games.
No.
Yeah. You've won 3 times, I've won twice.
So that's 3 to 2. 3 to 5.
Sorry, 3 to 5. 3 out of 5.
She's the smart one. Jesus Christ. No, you're great at words. You suck at math.
I have an arts degree.
Right. Okay.
I am not for math. I am for words.
But it's not a regular like Monopoly Man game. It's a Marvel superheroes Monopoly version.
Well, it's because I'm also super cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what they said when you bought it.
Yep.
At Miss Tiggy Winkle's.
You're so cool.
In line with 7
7-year-olds.
adolescents. Yeah, that's fine. Let's go.
Hey, you had a good time.
No, it's fun. But what are other things that you can do? Like, I recommend. We went for a walk the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Not down a busy street, but just through a neighborhood. And when people came around, we
gave him a wide berth.
We gave him the big bow and shit like that. And then we jumped in Betty, my car, and we went for a nice rip.
Yep, went for a boot.
And then we stopped at because we don't exercise as much as we should have, so we went for this nice walk and felt great. It's like, yay. And then we went for a rip in Betty, and then we stopped at McDonald's and sat in a parking lot and ate like
fat children.
Ate like stinky babies. But it was good. It was awesome. And if you're forced to spend time with your loved ones because life is too busy. We work too much in North America or in our economy or our civilization or the way things are in our whatever. If you're stuck at home with your family, there's worse things that could happen. Or you're stuck at home with your best friend or your girlfriend. There's worse things that could happen. You know what I mean? And someday I honestly think that once, hopefully, this is all said and done and you're back at work and you and your wife or husband or boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever, like, see each other in the morning and you grab like a fucking bowl of cereal or a Pop-Tart and rush out the door and you won't see each other for another fucking 26 hours. There's going to be a moment where you just like look back and be like, remember when we were forced to stay home for 3 months before anybody else in the world polluted our like bubble?
Mm-hmm.
Right now it seems like it's endless. Right now it seems like it's, yeah, it's like this Groundhog Day. But one day, I promise, you're going to look back and be like, God damn, we need another pandemic. Because cherish your loved ones and enjoy their time and be thankful that you're not alone in some fucking basement apartment like me. But I have you.
And I have you.
And we've said before, it's just like, even if when we're bored, it's like we look at each other and it's just like, not to get all fucking mushy or shit, but it's like, thank God you're here. Because I can't even imagine what it'd be like if like I had nobody. And if there's people out there that don't have the same companionship, if you are sitting in a basement, but you do have the internet and you've been alone for like a month, send me an email. Send us an email. It's egoinvice@gmail.com. Leave your phone number, and honestly, we'll give you a call, and we'll just shoot the shit. We'll talk about music. We'll talk about pop culture. We'll talk about whatever, because nobody should be alone. Nobody should be alone.
No.
And you're never alone. Nobody's ever alone, even though how as alone it feels or isolated as it feels. And we're good people, right, Steph?
We're pretty good.
Yeah, and, we'll put you on speakerphone, and we'll just sit down and shoot the shit.
I'd like that. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah. So don't, there's no despair other than all the despair that was there before.
Yeah.
But it'll be
the residual despair.
Yeah, but it'll be good. So, egoinvice@gmail.com. Send me an email and we'll call you directly, and we'll, I don't know, go crazy together.
Sounds good.
Cheers. Yo, so yeah, this has been episode 63 of Ego and Vice. It's a privilege to have this platform just to, you know, talk to you guys and reach out, and whoever listens to it. Cool, man.
Yeah, it's been a nice little light spot to be able to sort of shout into the void in what seems kind of like dreary times.
If you want to get a hold of us, you can always contact us at egoandvice@gmail.com. Just in the subject line, if you want to talk to one of us specifically, just write for Steph or for Mike. If you want to listen to the podcast, you can go to Spotify, you can go to Google Play, Podomatic, Facebook. It's all up there. But we're going to keep doing this every week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just to keep in touch and, you know, hopefully, you know, give you something to listen to when you're trying to self-fellate. All right. For myself, my name's Mike. My co-host is Irish Goodwin, or Steph Goodwin.
That's me.
All right. We'll see you next week.
You've got a real attitude problem, McFly. You're a slacker.